Hello, welcome to Listen.
Teacher Chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
And we are so excited to be here this week.
We're excited every week
We are.
when we're together.
Have you been in your room yet?
I have.
Oh, how does it feel?
It feels like it's getting there after unpacking all the boxes and like I've got everything organized in the right place somewhat. Now it's just like decorating.
Yeah.
That takes time.
And that's a little bit easier than figuring where everything goes. So that's nice.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you want to start with our highs and lows?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you know what? I want to go first.
Oh,
yeah. I'll go first.
I hate that, but I'll go ahead and let you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with my high. My high is getting into my new building and seeing all my friends over there and just making new friends and kind of getting to know people a little bit better. It just really gets me excited about the school year and just I love meeting new people.
I know. And it's a new start.
Yes.
Like if something changes, fun. I mean, it's hard, but it's fun.
Yeah, and it really does feel that way. Like I go into the building and it's like my old home.
Yes.
So it's like when you go back to your old school and you're like, So I am really excited about that. Like and there's just, I don't know, a lot of people that I used to work with, I'm getting to be around again.
That is so nice.
That is nice. And then I get to creep over here and still see people.
It's like a reunion when you came in today.
And when I look out my window, I can see this building too. So that's nice. I'm going to leave you notes in my window, I think.
Can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Now, on that note,
yes,
my low for the week is that we were told about parking spaces and they got rid of certain parking spaces at the other building. So they're going to steal some parking spaces over here.
I've heard that we've had to give up some parking space here.
Which I was actually like, cool.
Because you're right there.
Because I'm literally right by those parking spaces.
Yes.
But then when they put up the diagram, it had that those parking spaces would go to the administrative team and the paraprofessionals in the building. Now, they explained why the paraprofessionals would be in there. It totally makes sense because they need to be able to leave quicker and all this stuff. So, yes.
You support that.
I do. And the administration team, they were like, and we're going to take one from the team because they're so much further for everybody. And I held up my hand.
You did?
And I said, yes. And I said, you know what? I will trade one of you who would like for me to park in their spot because it's right outside my door. And you can go to the other parking lot. Robin.
Did they take a bite?
None of them did. I even started calling by names and I was like, what about you? And they were like, they smiled and it was kind of like, I don't think that's how that works, Jill. And I was sad. But
you're on the naughty list.
I'm not giving up.
You know what?
I'm not giving up.
I hope you win.
Me too. I think I might start a petition.
You know what? Just kidding. If my principal maybe could find a spot over here for you.
Yeah. Like we'll have
at the very end over there.
Yeah, it'll be like this spot and this one belong to the admin and the paraprofessionals at the middle school. But
over here on
this
our end,
one spot is reserved. And actually one of the principals did tell me, I would totally trade you, but I already marked the spot and painted my picture on it and stuff. And I was like, I like your humor.
Thanks for playing.
But I want your spot.
I know. Well, you know what? I hope it works out for you. I hope for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what?
Yeah.
I hope, because you know why? Parking spots are actually really important because I come early and I have a spot that I always park in. And sometimes people park in that spot. And I want to say, don't you see my car here every day?
I think that's going to go on our list. Pay attention to spots.
Yes, be considerate. They're in spots just like at church. We know where we sit. Don't be parking in other people's parking spots. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane.
What if I went and wrote my name on a spot?
I think you totally could do that.
Just like a big chalk one?
I think you could do it. Go for it.
I might do it anyway.
Go for it. What do you have to lose? A lot. What do you?
I signed the contract. I feel like it would take more than that to get rid of me at this point.
You know what? I'll go ahead and clean off the shelf for you over here because you have to come back. Okay.
All right. Fair. All right, Robin. What about you?
Well, my low is last week my ear went out in my house.
Your air did?
Yes. You know, I have the air out in the classroom. And they got it back. And then, so that was, of course, they can't come in and see you for like 6 days. Mm-hmm. So luckily, my mom lives right around the corner. So we've been staying with her.
Oh.
And then we come home in the morning to get ready. We don't take anything with us. And we drive. In fact, there are some days I just drove home in my pajamas and hope nobody saw me at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Nobody should be looking.
So that was my low. It is fixed now, and it's amazing. I'm so thankful for air conditioning, and I'm so glad to be home.
You know what? Maybe you needed a little bit of a shock treatment. So like your air got taken out at your workplace.
I know. I think God's trying to humble me of just being grateful for things.
Be grateful for little things like air conditioning.
I am. And you know what? It was really actually nice staying with my mom. My mom is so neat, and Dave said it felt like it was staying in a hotel.
Oh, wow.
You know, everything was so ready to go. So that was nice. But we're back home.
Standards just went up for home living.
Buddy, don't get used to it. So I was like, listen, don't get used to this. So that was my low, but we got it fixed. So that's flips up. And my high is this week we do Tiger Boost at our school. And so what that is we pick kids that maybe just need a jump start to the school year. And so they come for 2 hours in the morning, and we work on executive functions, math, reading, writing, and reading. And I said all those, I'll say it again, but
it's really important. Some of those are really important. You got to say them repeatedly. Mm-hmm.
Just in case you got confused.
Yeah.
So we've been working with them. And anyway, one of the little boys came in here on the second day, and I told him what we were doing. He said, man, this place just gets better and better every day. And I was like, it's just made me excited about the school year and realize like these kids are excited to be back with us. And it's really been a great, it's seeing these kids that kind of struggle or don't feel confident or kind of worry about school, for them to have this great experience. It's been a great week. So
yay. Well, and I think just getting around the kids again.
Yeah,
is really nice.
And it's great kind of and I will have to say, this wasn't my low too.
Yeah.
But we're doing a really fun thing on Monday, game that you love. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we're doing a little family feud. And so we were asked questions.
Yeah.
And we had to answer them for things in the building. What would be the top answers? And it was sad because 2 or 3 of those questions was people in my 5th grade team that would have been the perfect answer for them. So it made me a little sad because you know what? I would have picked 5th grade several things for that. So I miss you. I miss you guys.
Oh, that's sweet.
So anyway, that's kind of that.
Can't have your cake and eat it too. You still get to see me once a week.
That's right. As good as good. As good as good. That's fine.
All right. Well, people, this week with people heading back into buildings and some even starting school, we wanted to give some teacher tips. Beginning of the year teacher tips.
Yes. Wisdom.
Wisdom. I mean, Robin, I have been teaching this will be year 15. Which is funny because it's like I've only started school 15 times though. Like it's kind of weird when you say it. It doesn't really sound like that much.
No.
But
it is a long time.
That's a lot of experience.
It's a long time.
Long time. And Robin is on year
23.
23.
You see how quick I was?
So yes, we practiced a lot. So we have lots of knowledge about beginning of the year, things to think about, and just some tips.
Yeah, how to make it a great year.
Great start to the year.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it.
So,
okay, number 1.
Tip 1. I'll start with our tip 1. Get the names down of your children in your classroom immediately. So I have to be honest and say I have an awful memory.
I know. The older I am, I'm that way too.
I'm still super young, but I've actually just always had a bad memory. You can talk to Sean about that. He's quite frustrated by it. But that is something I'm like, typically in the first day, I'm like, I've got to get every kid's name down and figure out a way to do that. So my little trick is I go around the room, and it takes time, but I go around the room and I get the kid's name, and this is when I get their bus information, all that stuff down. But I ask them their name, and then I'm like, okay, give me something that is unique about you.
Oh, that's smart.
And so then I kind of have my little roster there, and I write down those things, and then I just say it. And as I go around a table, I will repeat it. And it does, like I said, it takes time. But that next day when they come into school and I see them walking in, I say, hey, Sally, how are you doing? Sally's face lights up and is so happy. Get the names down as quick as possible. I would say within the first 2 days. Like now I'm going to have, Robin, I'm going to have 73.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Students. 73 because I have 3 classes. And I'm giving myself an extra day. Normally I'm like day 1, get all the names down.
Day 2.
By day 2, for sure.
I can't wait to hear the update to see how it goes.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But that would be my tip because I just think it makes the kids feel like you care and that they're important to you, which they are.
You know, that made me think about, we always have back to school nights when parents come in, and used to they all came at the same time.
Yeah.
And you go around and you visit with someone and stuff. And I will never forget it's been so long that these kids graduated 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I went around and I talked to a parent, and then I went and did some more, and then I went back and I introduced myself to the same parent and started talking to them again, and realized that I'd already talked to them once. And
did they tell you that?
They did. They said, "Oh, we're actually so-and-so's." And I was like, I am so sad. Now, the worst thing is now I go to church with them.
Do they bring it up?
They don't. They're very kind.
That is very nice.
But it is hard getting confused because you see parents and kids and all those things. It is hard to keep everything tracked. And so parents, be patient, because we are really trying to remember things, but it is a lot.
It is a lot.
Especially for you guys. Like, at least we only had like 21 kids, and that's still hard. And the good news for younger kids, you could put a name tag on for a few days.
I know.
It's acceptable.
You can't do that.
It's not for you guys.
We do typically like have like little name plates that we just like have them take from class to class just to help us all out too. But whew.
And as you start teaching longer and longer, then you have kids that remind you of other kids. So you catch yourself calling them that name, and you're like, that's not who you are. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
And then there's one or two kids that are so hard to remember their name. I don't know why. There's always just a couple, and it's crazy. So, but yes, remember names.
Get those names down.
All right. Mine is start off your year by having, like, I call it a silver lining paper or a document where you write down all the great things that happen from the beginning of the year, because life gets stressful, kids get hard, honeymoon stage goes off, because the first few weeks you're like, hey, I have an amazing class, this class is so quiet, and then week 3 you're like, oh, what have I got myself into? So just write down those things, because it's good to go back throughout the year and say, oh, I forgot this person did this and those things. So it just helps you look for the good things in the year and the kids and stuff, and just reminds you of the great things that happen. So
yeah, because you're definitely right. There are going to be hard times with those kids in there at some point, and you need to go back, even those small things like that that are a challenge for a kid or something that they do. I actually went to the dentist this last week, and they were like talking to me about, oh, are you excited about going back to school? And I was like, absolutely. And I was like, I always have, it's like I've worked with great people, I've always had great students. And then I was like, and she's like, oh, well, that's great. And I thought, that sounds like fake. And I go, well, let me tell you. I said, ask me in a few weeks. Yes. Because I'm sure I'll have a little, I'm like, right now, I'm like,
rested. I'm excited. I love everybody.
Yeah. So that's how we're going to feel at the beginning, which is great.
Yes.
But at some point, it's going to come down a little bit, and you need to go back to those bright moments.
Yes. So 100%.
Very 100%. Good. Okay. So mine, I'm going to stick with the name thing. And this actually came from my son. Okay. So we all know that a lot of times, especially the longer you're in a district, families, kids, and at the age that I am right now, too, a lot of the kids that are coming through have played on my kids' sports teams. Like, again, I've had their siblings, all of that. And my son, when I was telling him what we're going to talk about this week, Race says to me, well, one of the things teachers need to make sure they're not doing is making it seem like one kid is really special because they know them. Oh. And I go, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, like you'll go into a class and a teacher will be like, oh, yeah, your mom and me, we're best friends. And then they like spend a lot of time with that one kid, it seems like, or that's how the kids perceive it. And I thought, I was like, oh, man, but there is truth, like that you see a kid and you're like, oh, I had your sibling. Like I looked at my list this year and I thought, I know I had some sibling, or I am friends with your mom, or whatever it may be. And I think we just have to be careful with some of those things. True. And I asked him, I said, well, you probably are on the flip side of that because both of your parents teach in the district where a teacher will probably be like, oh, you're, so-and-so's kid. And he's like, I do. And he's like, I don't necessarily like that either, because then everybody's looking at you and almost glaring at you because the teacher knows you. And I was like, okay, now he is going into 7th grade, but I teach middle school, and I thought that is something good for me to know.
That is good. I wouldn't think about that.
Have the connection, obviously, but maybe don't be too big about it. Yeah. And maybe off to the side more than in front of everybody. Yeah.
That's a
tip from a 7th grader.
You know what? Great tip. That is I would never think about that. Because you know what? I try to make connections with everybody. So I'd be like, hey, I know this, I know that. Like, that's good to know. Yeah. Good to know. I could also just make time for yourself, like find time, because especially at the beginning of the year, you could live at school till midnight and still not be done.
True.
Your job never ends. And so make sure you set boundaries for yourself that, hey, if you have to stay after, I'm going to stay till 5 o'clock and then I'm walking away, or 6 o'clock and then walk away, because it is so hard to you're never done. And especially at the beginning of the year, even all year. There's always something to do. And I think as your kids get old, even as they're young and older, it's a little bit easier because when they're real young, you want to get home to them because they've been with a babysitter and stuff. But then they start getting the age they have ball games, and sometimes that's easy to get away. But then that's that perfect age where they're in school with you and they live here and they're like, Mom, is it time to go home? No, we'll be there another hour or so. But your family's important.
Yeah.
And so, and if you have no kids, you need to have boundaries. You need a life. So go home, enjoy yourself, and walk away. I love our principal said today yesterday in new teacher meetings that she does not expect us to answer emails when we head out, and not even to check your emails, because they said if you check it and you have an upset parent, you can't let it go.
It'll ruin your night.
And you want to message back, and then you start, and they think and she said, I do not expect you to answer emails. And I think that's such a great reminder, because I am horrible about that. I check my emails all the time. I get back with people right away, and it's not healthy.
No, it's not.
And so I love that she told these new teachers that, and I think it's just a good reminder for everybody.
I'm glad. Well, and that's what I actually had on here too. After you started talking, I was like, setting boundaries is huge, because if at the beginning of the year you are answering messages at 6 o'clock at night, parents are going to expect that from you.
Yes.
And though we're like, well, I want them to, no, like your job is not, once they are gone out of your room, like, spend a few minutes at the end of the day, but then be done and tell yourself, I am leaving by 4:30. I'm leaving by 5 o'clock, whatever it may be, because boundaries are huge. And if your school uses something like Seesaw or anything like that, turn off those notifications. We had a young teacher in our pod, actually Krista, and she was one of those that she would check some of those things, and I'm like, you can't. And I said, the reason I know you cannot do this is because I also did for a while.
Yes.
And when I would check my email and have a parent message me something, even if it wasn't mean, it was just like this or that, I can't do anything about it right now. And if I message them, and then it works on my mind,
and you worry about it all the time,
and it ruins my family time. So I have actually, my school Seesaw is not set up to my phone.
Yes.
Only my parent one is. And so I can't see messages that way. My email, I have to go extra clicks to get to it. So I don't look at it when I'm at home. Like, you just have to make sure you set those boundaries and stick to them. And from the beginning of the year, like, it can wait till tomorrow, 100%.
And our principal is also telling these new teachers, they said, at back to school, meet the teacher, tell parents.
Yeah.
I will be here till 4:30, 4 o'clock. After that, I won't see your email. And I won't, so they know ahead of time. So you don't have to worry about that. They think you're ignoring them. Just say, I'll get it first thing in the morning. I'll get back with you. But I think that is so important and I'm still not going to hate it. I'm telling you, even now, I'm going to work on it this year, because I am really bad about that. So that's something that I need to do this year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my other kind of jumps on that too is to make sure that you are eating lunch with other people.
I agree 100%.
My mentor teacher, Angie Foster.
I love her.
She is wonderful.
She is. My daughter had her.
So when my very first year of teaching, especially those first couple weeks, I was like, I've got to get stuff done. I can't have lunch with people. And she walked into my room and she said, let me tell you now. She's like, eat lunch with people every single day.
Yes.
She's like, if you don't, she's like, you will stay in your classroom and you will not. And anyway, it is like, that is some of the best laughs I have all the time. It is a time to just kind of like regroup and just be a person.
Yes, 100%.
All of those things, and build a relationship with your team members and other people that have lunch at that time. So don't get stuck in your room trying to eat and do those things. Like, get out there and be with your team members.
And if you're not on a team, because even last year I'm not on a team, but you find a team.
Every team.
I'm on every team. But find a team. I promise you, there is not a team out there that would not want you to, and if they don't want you in there, you don't want to be on that team anyway.
Kidding.
So don't worry about it. Find a new one. But like, I joined the related arts team and stuff. But even this year, when I was scheduling my lunchtime, I asked our interventionist, I said, when are you taking lunch?
Yeah.
And I protected that time. Now, I know it won't work out every day, but I made sure several days a week that I was able to meet with them and sit with them, because it is so important. You need that.
Well, and it's only like 20 minutes, like
15 by the time you sit down, but who cares? You need it.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. So what are you going to get done in 15 minutes that you couldn't wait until later?
And nothing is that important.
No.
Nothing.
Not even that parent email.
No.
Wait, you have time later.
Yeah, you do. Mine is, I don't know if we have talked about it before. It was kind of on a list we had talked about. No, but have you ever read the thing about being a marigold teacher and a walnut tree?
I think
Well, it's this article, and if you have not looked it up, Google it and read about it. It has a lot of great things, but it talks about that farmers and people that work in nurseries plant marigolds by their garden because it nourishes. There's something in it that nourishes the soil and lets things grow, and the other thing is always healthy. And so this article talks about find a teacher that's a marigold. And how there's a walnut tree and nobody plants. You're not supposed to plant a garden near a walnut tree because it poisons the ground. And so nothing grows, things die. And we all know who those walnut trees are at your school.
Yeah.
You know, they're the negative people. In fact, this whole article, if you can read it, it talks about Debbie Downers and Grumbling Gary. And I mean, it's really funny. But go back and read. I mean, it's a great article to read. But find that marigold person that is positive in your life, in your building, that can be the encouragement for you, that when you having a bad day or you have a problem, that you're picking someone that will lift you up and not bring you down, not poison you with negativity, not want you to waller in your bad days, because you will not make it if that's who you surround yourself with.
No.
So make sure you find that person. And you know what? Be a marigold.
That's what I was going to say.
Be a marigold. Yeah. You can do that. Be that sunshine and that help for someone and be that positive influence on someone too. But I think that's so important to pick the person.
I mean, when you think about what you would rather be in life, a marigold or a walnut tree, come on.
Hello.
Walnut. I mean, like, nasty road situation.
They dent cars.
Yeah.
They make your hands dark when you're dirty.
Like, ooh, hey,
they're pretty. They don't smell great, but they're
like, hey, look
and
at
they're
me.
so in different colors and beautiful.
Beautiful. I like it.
Okay.
So my other thing is first couple days are a little bit stressful.
It is.
And so I want everybody to take a breath.
That's all right.
And realize all you need to do, guys, really is obviously the kids come in. You need to know what they're doing in the afternoon.
How they're getting home.
Yep. How are they getting home? Make sure those kids eat and then actually get them home to wherever they need to be.
Yes.
Like those are the things you need to accomplish on those first couple of days. And if you can get that done, everything else is just
you've done your job.
What is it? Icing on
the cake.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So I think whenever someone told me that after a couple of years of teaching, I was like, it almost let me release all the stress of trying to be the perfect teacher on the first couple of days.
Yeah.
And I'll even tell my kids, I'm like, guys, let me be honest with you, if I can just make sure you eat lunch today and get you home, it is successful.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be fine.
Yes.
And so I think sometimes we just need to hear that, like, just that.
Okay.
Do that.
I
and
know.
You'll be good. It'll be worth it.
And listen, I love when we start school on a Thursday and there's just 2 days.
Yeah.
It is hard. We start a little early. We start on a Tuesday. That's 4 long days.
It is.
But you know what? You guys
better than 5.
It's better than 5. And listen, before the week's in, you'll be smooth sailing.
Yeah.
So that's the good news about that. After a couple days, you'll be in a routine.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Yep.
That's all I got.
I was going to come back to your original thing of paying attention to spots. The parking spots.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you're a new teacher in a building, you may need to pay attention to people's parking spots. I feel like I'm kind of a floater a little bit.
I feel like you're a floater.
Yeah. Like I wanted to have a spot, but then people got all crazy. And so I couldn't have a spot. And so I just have like certain areas. But if somebody makes a comment to you like, hey, you keep parking in my spot, if they laugh or not, like I had a friend that said that to somebody and she kind of laughed, but she was serious. I could tell. And that teacher continued to park there. And throughout the whole year, my teacher friend was making comments about how I've been here forever and this person keeps parking in my spot. And I even said something and they keep parking there. So I'm just saying.
Listen, stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane, people. It's okay. Stay in your own spot.
Oh my gosh.
If you know what, if you wanted that parking spot, you should have came early and you should have called it early.
That's true. I told them they should have written their name on the parking spot. You really want something like that.
Listen, every year I ask if I could have a sign, but people just laugh.
I don't know why they're not like
I don't know. And I'm tempted just to make my own.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it.
I support it.
Thank you.
I support you in all things. All things.
when you and I are working.
This is why they separate us. This is why they separate us from buildings. They were like, it was too much for that amount of time. They brought you to my side of the building 1 year, and the next year I'm gone. I'm gone. They're like, there's too much of that. Oh, so true.
That's awful.
Okay.
So, okay.
Oh, we have an exciting announcement.
Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
Guys, okay, so this is either going to be extremely exciting and like
the best thing ever.
Best thing ever.
And we'll go down in history as the most amazing thing in life. Or
it's going to be a complete train wreck. And we will have the most embarrassing moments of our life.
And we will never be able to live it down.
Yeah.
And we'll never be invited back.
But I feel like it's going to be worth it.
I feel like this is good.
So many of you maybe are sitting there wondering, what is this
exciting news?
Well, in our school district, we have an award ceremony.
Yes.
And we've made it a big deal the last couple of years.
Kind of like the Oscars.
Yes, kind of like the Oscars. They may even have a similar name. And this year, Robin and I are hosting.
We have been asked to host. We are hosting
all the staff. Things. All of our staff members in the entire district will
Nurses,
be at this
custodians,
meeting.
Bus drivers, paras,
teachers,
you name it,
are going to be in front of this, and it's us.
And not only are we hosting it, we had to write the script.
This has been months in the making. What was this like back in March?
Yes.
Like March?
Yes.
We've been holding on to this.
Yes.
Whoever thinks we can't keep secrets. Yeah.
Well, self-control.
Now, let me be honest. Some people know about this.
Majority of people.
A majority of people that are around us.
A lot of people I haven't told.
I know.
I mean, a lot more than
We've not announced it on the podcast until this moment.
No.
And it's happening today.
Yes. So you know what? If you're listening, and it is before 9:00, please get on your knees and pray that goes well, and that people will think it's funny. Okay? Because you know, here's the thing. Jill and I think it's funny. We've laughed several times.
Yeah.
And we read through the skit, and every time we laugh about it.
Yes.
And we think it's so funny. But guess what? We're not sure anybody else will think it's funny. So, and all joking, just pray that we do not sound like we are crazy.
Yeah.
And that people will think it's funny, and that we don't.
It has to be. This is what I keep coming back to. It has to be better than the old, like.
I know.
No happiness, here's all this.
And we have included lots of teachers in the district. Like, we have put TikTok videos together.
Yes,
we
want to check those out.
Like their stories.
Okay, I was gonna say, and we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok. They are about to get bombarded with the videos that we have created for this thing. So be aware.
Excited. So we are very excited, but all joking, if you are right now in your car, don't close your eyes.
No, don't close.
But pray that this goes smoothly, and that our nerves are calm. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous. I'm excited and nervous both. Like, sometimes I'm like, this is gonna be awesome, and other times I'm like, oh Lord, I'm gonna throw up. Pearl, I'm not gonna be able to make it through this. And so
I'm just thankful I'm doing it with you.
Oh, I'm 100%.
Because we do this every week. It's just, where are we going? We've talked about this. Where are we going to freelance? Like, we've got a script, but we don't ever use scripts.
No.
So this is going to be interesting.
And we hope we have a job on Monday afternoon.
Monday afternoon. I feel like we're safe.
Now, the good news is we ran it through our superintendent, and he actually laughed.
He about cried laughing
several times.
Yes.
So I feel good about it.
I think it was a cry laugh. Hopefully it wasn't.
It was a cry laugh.
What am I doing? Why did I put these girls in front of?
And the thing is, this is only the second year we've had these awards.
Yes.
And last year it was high school kids that did it.
Yeah.
And so, we're having to compete with them.
But they were trained professionals. They were actors.
They were, and they were great at drama and everything. And so,
luckily, I feel like we're a little dramatic.
We're trained.
We're trained.
We've been dramatic for a long time.
Yeah. Now we're just gonna put it to the test.
So anyway, we're very excited.
We are.
I'm excited for people to see it and listen to it, because it really is some funny. We've spotlighted a lot of funny people. There's a lot of funny jokes in there.
And you know what? After today, it'll be over, and we'll know.
No, we'll know.
We'll either be people will be like, that was the best thing ever, or people are gonna be like,
they'll guys.
They'll like see us coming, they'll be like, good job, and
or they'll say, that was exciting. You were asked.
Yeah, like, you know what? If you didn't like it, find a positive way to say it. Don't be like, ignore us. Like, be like, I really liked your dress.
That was fun. You got picked. Yeah, that would be a good one to say.
Yeah.
I bet you had fun doing that. That would be a good thing to say. Because I wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Here's the good news. I feel like
it'll be fine.
People are very nice, and so I don't think they'll be mean. But we'll see. No, just kidding. They will be mean. We're excited.
Yes,
it'll be great.
We are. We're very excited.
And we're honored that they asked us, but we're humble enough to realize that we just need a little extra prayer. So just let it go smoothly.
Just do it. Yep. So
I love it.
On that note, remember that we do have Facebook, Instagram, what did I Pinterest. We have TikTok and the unedited or not very edited version. I may have to start doing that. Not very edited version is on YouTube. So there's that.
Yes, very exciting.
Very exciting stuff.
Yes.
We need a challenge.
I have one.
All right.
So do you have one? Okay.
Robin has our challenge for this week.
I do.
And I will pass it over to her. Oh man, I am also really excited about some of the stories, and guys, I'm really actually excited about it.
And actually, as I just sit here thinking about it, I start giggling and thinking of things that people don't know is coming their way. It is actually so funny. It's really going to be.
Stuff.
In fact, if we're trying to find a way, if we can find a way to record some of it, because it's funny stuff. It's funny. I'm going to go with that. Yep. Okay? I'm going to go with that. All right. Anyway, I'm going to read the scripture that I picked today is Proverbs 16:23. I think so. Sorry. 24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. And I picked that because this week, as you're starting a new year, I saw this great little saying that made me think, man, that is so true in so many ways. It says, too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of to which have the potential to turn a life around. And that's by Leo Biscaglia.
Sounds right.
I'm pretty sure I said that name wrong. So we'll post that on Facebook so you know how to spell it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Would you say that?
Yeah, sure. What I was going to say when you were mentioning that, though, too, is as kids come into your room.
Yes.
Like, kids are nervous their first day of school, all of those things. And as nervous as teachers are, kids are even more so.
Parents are nervous.
And so even just those smiles to kids. Yes. And, hey, and if you don't know their name, it's okay to call them honey or sweetie or whatever it may be. But it makes a difference because even after our little thing today, if people smile at me afterwards, it'll make me feel better.
Yeah, that's right. And it's just a touch of sense. And, just putting your touch, not a touch or a smile or a kind word, like all those things. And we don't realize what a difference that makes. And you don't have to do many things. Just do that. And and I loved that scripture that it's like honeycomb. And I thought, that is just so sweet. And so I just a quick reminder of that. As you start this first week, think of some kind things, say some kind words, be a kind touch, listen to kids, listen to parents,
listen to the other teachers and say you're doing a great job for those new people.
Yes, and you have some new people in your building that I was saying as I was helping lead a new teacher meeting. I thought, oh my goodness, these poor teachers are probably overwhelmed. There's so much stuff that's thrown at them that you think about how you feel. They're probably overwhelmed. So just be an encourager and just let them know you're there and just be a supporter of them.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. Well.
All right. Well, we'll report in next Monday.
Yeah, we're either going to have some great highs or some great lows. We'll see how that goes.
And you know what? An agent might be there to pick us up and we might get a new TV show or something.
Probably. I think that's probably the best bet. We'll definitely be recruited for something big. I like your positive outlook on that.
Mm-hmm. Did you not think that?
No, I did not think out of these staff members in our district that one would be an agent. But now
you know there's a chance.
There's a chance. Okay, good to know.
So, all right. Well, listen, we hope you have an amazing week, and we hope that you have a great beginning to your school year. Mm-hmm. And this is Listen.
Teacher Chatter.
This is Robin.
And Jill.
Go be kind to someone.